chasing what only a dream, break from the scheme. Waking up at dawn, all my fears are gone. All set today, never, never, not today. Step by step I go, faster than the flow. Broke through every chain, I will not be contained.
Good evening, everybody. Man, hello, hello, hello again. We are back with another continuation of these depositions that went on for misreporting somebody, showing things that were not true, wrong identification of a person. And you get to see what a SLAPP and anti-SLAPP lawsuit actually looks like. Good to see you, Daniel Berry. How you doing, Hippie Witch? Good to see you. Hey, Christine, how you doing? And Shaput? I hope I got that right. Blue Amaryllis. Oh, that's such a beautiful name. Tina Bright, Tracy Spencer, Mary, my Lord Almighty, Sue Scat, Tinker Lou, Mary. Oh my gosh, all you wonderful people coming in. Thank you very much. This is actually a shorter one that we're going to be watching. It's only about 27 minutes long. And if we have time, we will get over to the CEO for Louder with Crowder. And we'll see exactly how all this goes out. Hello, Fawn Mayo. Good to see you. Yeah, Tug and Megan Raid. Oh, God, I hope they had a good stream tonight. I chatted with Megan a little bit. Was it last night? I think chatted with her for a little bit last night. She's just like, I'm so tired, just everything. So I appreciate you. Well, welcome, early Raiders. Welcome, early Raiders. This will like I said, it's 27 minutes and it's Owen Shroyer tonight. Ooh, man, the cockiness of this one, yeah.
On record 1007.
All right, to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Truth. Ready to proceed.
Mr. Shroyer, when were you first told you were given a deposition in this case?
Boy, I don't know the exact date. Do you recall when it would have been?
Unfortunately, she's not able to help you out here.
No, I don't know the exact date.
Okay. I'm guessing sometime in the past couple weeks, then?
I would say maybe a month.
Okay.
I've known.
Oh my.
Who have you spoken to about this deposition?
That's awesome.
My attorney, and I believe that's it.
Okay. Did you review any documents before the deposition?
Yes.
Can you describe what documents you reviewed?
An affidavit that I signed for this case, and then 2 videos that are relevant to this case.
Okay. I would take it those would be the May 7th and May 8th episodes of your show?
It is the episode pertaining to the original documents you sent me, and then the retraction video.
Okay.
Ah, so they did do
Did you talk to
retraction.
anyone other than your attorney about the subject matter of your testimony?
Not that I can recall, no.
Okay. And have you had any written or electronic communications with anyone about this case?
Not in specifics, other than maybe just telling somebody that I was being deposed today, maybe just somebody at work, just letting them know.
Okay. As far as your background, you are a journalist who provides news coverage.
I'm a broadcaster, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, what I'm referring to is, did you see in your legal papers in this case where it was claimed you were a journalist who provides news coverage?
I don't recall what identities I was given in any legal papers.
You record an internet video show called The War Room?
I'm the host of the show, yes.
Okay. You have one boss, and that's Alex Jones?
You could say that.
But Alex Jones doesn't personally oversee your show or pre-approve what you say, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay. And was on the day that we're talking about in this case, the video that you reviewed for May 7th, 2023, did Alex Jones personally oversee or tell you what to say?
No.
You're allowed to say what you want on your show.
Yes.
You have people working under you on your show that you can give instructions to.
Yes.
Part of your show involves reviewing news articles and social media posts that have been printed out on paper. Correct?
Oh, that was a
Is that a
statement?
question?
It is.
Yeah, he just made a statement.
Yeah, that's part of the show.
Part of your show involves displaying materials printed out from the internet that you have never seen and then commenting on them live.
Yeah. Happens
That's
here.
happened
before. That's not an integral part of the show.
That's what happened in
Yeah,
this
it's always
episode,
interesting,
correct?
isn't it?
Not exactly, but generally speaking, that's kind of what happened.
From what I understand of your affidavit, you reviewed materials on this show relating to my client that you had never seen before.
Reviewed what materials?
Well, for instance, the photo of my client that we're here about today. You had never seen that before going on air.
No.
You had never reviewed any
Hey,
of those
Melody.
materials.
No, it was just sitting on the desk.
Welcome.
And you knew that there would be materials sitting on the desk.
Yeah, there are materials sitting on the desk.
And you may not have seen them or checked them before.
No.
So in terms of whether you might end up defaming someone on your show, it's pretty much a Russian roulette situation as far as you're concerned.
No.
Well, I don't understand. If you have materials on your desk that you haven't checked, how would you know what's in them?
They're not my materials. I'm not referencing those materials. I never touched those materials. I never told anybody to put those materials on the air on video.
Well, you know they're going to be there, right?
No, I don't know what's going to be there.
No, you know exactly. You know that stuff is going to be on your desk and you don't know what it is, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like I could walk into my room and see there's stuff on my desk. Doesn't mean I know exactly what it is. He got a haircut. I don't know which one. Yeah, he got looks like he got it trimmed up a little bit. This is ridiculous. You know, the questions that he's asking, InfoWars lives, it will never die, because, well, that we sort of hope for. I mean, you know, you gotta have something out there that's completely different.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't go through the thousands of papers on the desk when I sit down for the Sunday show. I don't have time to.
Right. So when you have a show and part of the basis of your show is to review live materials printed out from the internet that you've never seen, that ain't a great idea. You agree with that?
Objection form.
Yeah.
It's not exactly an ideal situation, but that's the situation I'm in on Sundays. I don't have time to clear the desk. I have basically 2 minutes to sit down and put a mic on, and that's all I can do on Sunday. So I had nothing to do with those documents.
What instructions do you give about the printed out materials that are going to be used on your show?
Truth and start cannot die.
Are you talking about for this show in question?
No, just generally.
Well, it's kind of important that there's a distinction being made. On that show, I literally just sit down at the desk. It's the exact same desk where somebody's on air before me. I don't have any time to clear the desk. I don't have any time to review what's on the desk. I don't have any time to put new stuff on the desk. I just have to sit down and go on air. So on a normal circumstance, I have control over the desk. I have control of what's on the desk. In this circumstance, I have none.
You certainly have control of the words coming out of your mouth while you're talking on air, right?
No, see what it was is they wanted to. They tried to basically get a slap on this where they don't allow him to basically coming after him for saying things on air, and they fought it and tried to say, you know, trying to pull up anti-SLAPP laws. It didn't work out good for him. So that's what it's all about. They gave information out about a person, used a picture on the air that was not the correct person. And in doing so, they defamed somebody. That person sued, and they did settle this out of court. So it's over with. But this is sort of one of the risks that people run into whenever they start doing reporting and telling people bad or wrong information or making up things as they go along. This is the kind of problems that you run into. This is what got Alex Jones in so much trouble. This is what got Crowder in trouble. This is what gets a lot of reporters in trouble. All it takes is one person saying, "You defame me."
Yes.
And those, in this case, I think what you're telling me is none of that is pre-planned. You don't have a script.
No.
Okay. So you know that you're going to be encountering materials you've never seen before and reacting to them live, correct?
No.
Okay. Well, you know there's going to be materials on the desk, right?
Yes.
In this specific case, you knew you had never seen them before,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And then you knew you'd be reacting to them live,
No.
correct?
No.
Explain to me why that's not right.
Because I don't have to react to anything on the desk.
I'm not understanding what you're saying. Your show, from what I understand how it operates, is you have a stack of materials on your desk that are about the news stories of the day, correct?
Yes.
And that dictates kind of what you're going to be talking about on your show, or those news stories, right?
Well, if you're asking why BBB is not in trouble yet, don't know. I've got no answer for you on that one, Melody. I honestly could not tell you why or how come, because it have no idea. That's just the way it goes. You can't expect everything to always fall in place like you want it to. They do not do true facts anymore. It's about who can get the story out first. It seems, even if it's bad info, absolutely. And that does happen quite often.
No.
Okay. Can you see the materials on your desk while you're on the show?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stacks in front of me. You can see it on the video.
That's what I wanted to make sure. When we go to the InfoWars document camera, right, that's above the desk, that's a view directly in front of you. Those papers aren't on some other desk. That's the desk right in front of you.
Yes.
Okay.
Melody?
Well, first of all, do you know who you had select materials for that show?
Nobody probably, but no, I don't know.
You don't know how they got to your desk?
My guess is the show before prints out all this stuff and puts it on the desk for the host before me. That's how they got on the desk.
Who's the host before you?
Alex Jones.
Okay. So
it's Alex Jones in there before him. You think he's part of the good old boys club? Well, he might be. Who is Bruce? That on Hale's group on Facebook. Well, I don't know who he is on Facebook because I don't do Facebook. I mean, I have an account there, but I really just don't do much of anything. So who BBB, as far as I know, is Bruce, or also Bruce Manskin or Deuce Foreskin or whatever anybody else wants to call him. That Bubbles, whatever you want to call him. That's BBB. This guy is sporting the GQ hair and beard of the year. G-Con, so that's right. Hey, G-Con, good to see you. Hello. Welcome.
So you don't have any idea who printed out those materials for his show?
No, I'm not there. I get there after he's done.
So the materials that are there on your desk are not even checked by any member of your staff for your show?
No, I don't have a staff for that show. I just inherit the staff that's already there.
Gotcha.
I don't know, Tina. I couldn't tell you. I don't follow the guy like that, so I wouldn't know. I just don't. I don't know. Possibly, maybe.
So before going on air, you don't do anything yourself to ensure that any of the materials on your desk are accurate or appropriate for the show?
Objection form.
I don't really reference them. I don't touch them. I don't pick them up. They're just there.
Can
No,
you
he's
identify
not.
everyone who is working on your May 7th show who would have had any input on the materials selected for the show?
Alex Jones is the owner of InfoWars, or his LLC or whatever it is InfoWars. This guy right here is one of the reporters on InfoWars. Owens always changes his beard. Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, can you identify for me everybody who works on your show?
Or which show?
The Sunday night show that you were doing.
The weekend staff is a rotating staff. So, I mean, I would just have to sit here and name off staff members. I don't know who was on the show that night.
Well, can you tell me anybody who might have potentially had input on the material
come
selected
on.
that ended up
These
on
are
your
horrible
desk?
questions.
You want me to just name people's names? Their full names?
Sure.
Okay. There's
Well, he's going to be naming a whole bunch of names. So just know that this is public information. Anybody can find this. I'm not doxing anybody. So love when Owens had the Amish look. It was spectacular. That's right. Oh my gosh. All right. So no, I'm not doxing anybody here. So this is public information.
a producer named Scott. There's a producer named Daria. There's a couple helping hands, Thomas, Rob.
So he would be the one that's liable. No, they're just what this is a fishing expedition. They're trying to, anybody that reported on this, anybody that talked about this, anybody that shared the wrong picture, they're trying to bring them into this lawsuit so that way they can force a settlement. And that's what ends up happening. They do settle this case out of court. So that's what's happened in this. Welcome, Tug Raiders. Welcome. Good to see you, Tug Raiders. Welcome. Hello. Welcome. No problem.
Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just some of the names of the staff that are there on Sundays.
Two of those people you
Crazy.
described as producers. right?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tug.
Is that right?
Yes.
Tug's
Okay, and then I
good.
believe you used the word helpers.
Yes.
Is that right?
Good to see you. Welcome, Levy. Good to see you. Yankee Bell, Melody Kucher, Janice. Good to see you. Tina Bright, Tanja. I think I got that right. Tanja. Tina Bright, Melody Kucher. It's awesome. Welcome, Raiders. Hello. Welcome, Colleen, Jan, Elfie. Good to see you. Good evening, Deborah Franco. I love that name. A beautiful name. Sharon T. Good to see ya. Old Lady 67. Love it. Tug Raiders. Morgan A. Pierce. Good to see you. Brandis. Abercrombie. Hippie Witch. Who's the cutie? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, this here is Owen Shroyer from InfoWars. Good to see you. Good to see you. Elsa Bubbles is still in hiding. Probably is. East Texas Cowboy. Good to see you. Welcome. Melody Kucher. Yes. Yankee Bell. Good to see you. Brazilla's Realm. Barnyard Sally. If I miss anybody, I apologize. Thank you, Tug. Welcome. Like I said, this is a very short one. Hey, Angel, how you doing? Good to see you. Such a lovely lady. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Let me grab the helmet of shame here. Oh my. Thank you so much. Let me get this right here. Not that you're ashamed. I am just, it's a shame that this helmet isn't covered even more. Look at that right there. That one's for you right there. Thank you, Angel. Tug Raid. Rogue Mama. Good to see you, Rogue Mama. Love ya. How you doing? Oh yeah, we've got the whole crew rolling on in here tonight. Yeah. Oh boy, what happened to the drums? See, now I'm not going to get caught in that one again. You guys had way too much fun. Don't you worry about it, Gene. That is absolutely fine. It's the thought that counts. Just hit that thumbs up. It's really easy. The drums got put in prison. Yes, they did. They did get put in prison. It was pretty funny. Yes, that was the night you broke Shizzy. Yeah, she got me so bad. Got me in all kinds of wow. It went crazy. It just wouldn't stop. I couldn't even take a couple of seconds and breathe without that music and everything coming on. Only 89 likes out of 713 people watching. Hit that thumbs up. Texas Melody. Good to see you, Lorraine. How you doing? I love it. Oh yeah, love you in the mornings too. Thank you for being so wonderful. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoy the mornings. Yeah, Bubbles is definitely hiding from the constable. He don't want to get a subpoena. He's like, oh no. I think we're all in tears of laughter. Yes, that was fun though. It was fun. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Mama Bear. How you doing? Tooling banjos all over again. Drums, nothing but the drums. More cowbell. I thought about doing that, just getting a cowbell up there. Oh, that would have been hilarious. Ah, but then, every time I would do it, I have to get up and I'd have to shake my hip just that right way. Not a raider, just here on your own accord. Well, welcome. Not a Honda. Hey, Just Don, good to see you, lady. Oh my gosh, Shirley. Hello, Elfie. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. It's gonna be a really short, easy one. I definitely need a cowbell. Yeah. You know what would happen if I had a cowbell, like an actual cowbell, and started hitting that thing? My wife would probably throw hands at me and it wouldn't be pretty. she, she probably, because she's usually like starting to go asleep about this time. So she most likely would just come down here with a baseball bat and go, you want more cowbell? Let's ring a bell. She'll say, baby, you're smexy, not cute. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Snoozy. I appreciate that. Try to toke a slave. We didn't miss the letter, did we? Oh, no letter tonight. There won't be a letter tonight. There will be a letter as soon as we get some sort of filing. Is whenever I usually write those letters. Divorce? No, there would be no divorce. It would just be her like beating me with something. Oh, that would be quite funny though. I would pay you not to do that banjo drum thing again. Laugh my butt off. But jeez, that's right, proud mover. Oh, we use the cowbell for football games. I know. You start getting that. It's just it can get loud. Oh man, it can get loud.
Would those be the two kind of job titles of people who are working on your show?
Producer's a title, board op, call screener, switcher. Those are some titles.
Do you have an editor?
That's right.
Yes.
Who's your editor?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the guy that edits the Sunday show, that show, I think his name is Wilson, but I don't know.
I want to make a distinction, if I can, between, I believe what you may be, when you talk about editing the show, you mean video editing, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make a distinction. For instance, do you know, does InfoWars have a managing editor?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Let me give you a name of somebody who you might be familiar with. I don't know if he works for the company anymore. Kit Daniels. You familiar with that name?
Yes.
Okay. Now, he was an editor, right?
He was a press editor.
Correct. For the stuff that went on the website.
Yes.
Right? And for articles and writing and things like that.
Yes.
Kit Daniels, in other words, isn't a video editor.
No.
All right.
Yes, I can.
Does Kit Daniels, does he work on your show at all?
No.
Okay. Is there anybody else who holds the same job as Kit Daniels last summer, where they were an editor for the network?
I could not tell you that. I don't know.
Okay. Greg, can you give me all the copies of tab 2? Ooh, appreciate it. Ooh.
Yeah, he's probably tired.
There we go. If we can mark that as Exhibit 1.
Welcome, Lady T. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I would have more copies. I didn't expect anybody else to be interested in this depo today. Honestly, did not expect to see y'all. But I'll be happy to make y'all copies at the end if y'all like.
Do you care if I look over your shoulder?
Yeah, you can look at this. That's no problem. That's perfect. All right, Mr. Shroyer, I handed you what has been marked as Exhibit 1. This is an email of Kit Daniels. We were talking about he's a coworker of yours. Was a coworker of yours.
What is the story on this depo? Well, I could give you what I'll do is watch this portion of it. When we get to whenever we get to the end of it, what I'll do is I'll give you a good idea of what this was. No, that settlements are usually, whenever they're not done in court, those settlements are kept private. There's a good reason for that, is because how would you like if you settled, and I'm just using this for an example, if you settled something out of court for $10 million, would you want everybody to know how much you settled it for? Especially if you lived in the same area where you currently live, would you want all your neighbors and all of your close friends to know that you just basically got a $10 million payout? So no, you don't want to know anything about that. That's why that's why whenever they settle these out of court, they don't give that information. And I mean, the person that got the settlement is welcome to talk about that, but the attorneys usually won't. So, but yeah, I'll get that information up, and I'll tell you a little bit about what they wrote in this. So just to give you an idea and give you a good rundown of what all happened. I just have to pull all that up. So just wait until the end, and I'll have that for you, because we're going to have part of one more after this.
Was he a coworker of yours last summer in 2023?
I don't think I've seen Kit Daniels in maybe over a year.
Okay.
Howdy, Mr. Nuts. Well, let me get Green Eevee Beast right here. Green Veggie Beast. I keep saying that right. I just want to say Eevee. Green Eevee Beast. Green Veggie Beast. Good to see you. Howdy, Mr. Nuts. I still say Papa Nuts. Sounds like a good time. Well, usually it could be. It just depends on which one. There you go. That one's for you right there. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Green Eevee, for the $10 super chat. And it does keep this channel up and running. All your super chats. You don't ever feel like you have to, but if you do, thank you very, very much. Ahead of time. It really is one of the kindest things you can do for me. I appreciate you, Greenie. Oh, that's wonderful. Tug, Megan, Raid, how you doing? Good to see you, Sherry Anderson, Mama Bear Lee. I'm happy you got home, finally received your Legal Vices sweatshirt. Woohoo! I hope all the orders are helping Vice, baby. I hope so too. Yeah, most settlements include an NDA, so no one can talk about it or the allegations ever again. Yeah. Now, I mean, these kinds of things, the depositions, those can be shown. Those are public information. So thank you very much, Levy. That's a good way to point that out.
Subject of this email is new editorial policy for all reporters, journalists, and writers. Do you see that at the top?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was sent on June 7th, 2018. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
At that time, you were hosting a show as a journalist?
I was a host. I don't know about the term journalist applying here.
Well, when it says it applies to reporters, journalists, and writers, do you think this policy applies to you?
I don't know. This could have been meant for the writers. I do not know.
Well, it was sent to you, wasn't it?
Kit Daniels was never my managing editor.
Well, I'm asking who it was sent to.
It was sent to InfoWars staff.
And that goes to you, right?
I think so.
The policy says any news story published or promoted by InfoWars that deals with the possibility of a crime being committed or criminal accusations in general must be checked by multiple editors before publication, whether it be a video report or a written article. This also includes headlines as well as the content of the report. This policy will help ensure that reports are free of inaccurate and misleading statements that invite legal problems for the company. You agree that this policy existed before the show that we're here to talk about today?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone ever said to you since 2018, Mr. Shroyer, this policy is no longer in effect, and criminal allegations that you make on your show don't need to be checked by multiple editors?
No.
Okay. Do you remember what happened to cause the creation of this policy?
No.
Do you remember that shortly before this email, your coworker Kit Daniels published an innocent person's photo as the Parkland shooter?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with the lawsuit that resulted from those events?
Not off the top of my head.
Have you heard the name Marcel Fontaine?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. Do you recognize that as the person who was falsely identified as the shooter in the Parkland incident?
Again, I don't remember this off the top of my head.
Okay. Do you remember in May 2022, a year before this episode we're talking about, that you published the photo of an innocent woman saying that she was the Uvalde elementary school shooter?
No.
Okay. I want to see if we can refresh your memory on that. Alexis, let's mark that as Exhibit 2.
Yeah. Very much so. Very much drama free. Very much to the point, down to
Yes, go ahead and
business.
give that to Mr. Shroyer. Mr. Shroyer, I've handed you what's been marked as Exhibit 2. This is a CNN article that was published on KTVZ Oregon. The title of this article is False Right Conspiracists Claim the Uvalde Shooter Was a Trans Woman. And I'd like to direct your attention to the highlighted portion on page 2. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read that portion really quick and you can read along with me. It says, Jones told the...
But it was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it, I'm pretty sure that the shooter in Tennessee was a trans woman. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong in that, but I'm pretty positive is that's how they identified. And there was a video that was released that I won't show here, but where the police officers, because this was not too long after Uvalde, the police officers came and dispatched them to a place of their choosing, which was, you had one way to go, up or down, and well, that they got dispatched to one of those two places. So they yeah, that one was another one that was talked about. They did keep those documents, which I do actually have that person's manifesto. I've read that before, which is quite a disturbing manifesto. It was released out by the Tennessean, I believe. Pretty dark.
Caller, he had a photo of Ramos wearing a skirt. Later in the episode, he shared a tweet from Andy No that asked people to stop claiming that the images of people in skirts being circulated are Ramos, because none of those images had been confirmed to be the shooter. Jones' co-host Owen Shroyer said, I just want to be clear, the images we've been talking about are not the ones that we've been sharing. We've been sharing the images that are on his Instagram account that is claimed to be his. The Instagram account that Shroyer mentioned was a spoof account that has since been taken down. Does this refresh your memory that in 2022 you spread the false image of a mass shooter?
Vaguely, but I don't know. I mean, claiming I spread a false image, this is just a quote. It doesn't show any images.
No, it's because the U.S. it actually will bring those kinds of things to a lot of people's attention. It doesn't mean that they have any more violence. They do have more mass shootings, but not as compared to places like, I don't know, Gaza, Afghanistan, where they don't talk about it. They just have people that walk into mosques and those sorts and will actually detonate something that goes boom. And usually the loss of life is much more sudden and the devastation is much more severe. If you look at England, for example, or the UK, you're not going to hear about a bunch of mass shootings, but you'll probably hear about people that have gone on a stabbing rampage. Let's put it that way. They get and it doesn't take away violence of human beings. Well, you haven't had any since you've changed gun laws, but that hasn't stopped the violence. You still have violence. Just saying. And also here in the United States, you can prevent a lot of those things by being able to be armed. That is one of the things that is a big deterrent. If you look at the places where a lot of these mass shootings occur, are places where the citizenry is not allowed to protect themselves. So big difference in countries. You say it's gotten out of control. No, it's just the way that the news reports it. There are more stabbings per capita in America than in the UK. Okay. I can see that. Look, but what cities is that happening in? Yeah, of course, there always will be violence. Exactly. Taking away a means of protection, and that is what makes America so great, is our ability to have our Second Amendment. You're not going to be able to take that away. That's one of the protections we have to not only stop people that are looking to do harm, but it's also to stop government from being tyrannical. You have to remember back in the day, there was, what would that be? Back in, what was it, the 30s, 40s, that they disarmed the citizenry, and the government was able to do whatever they wanted to because they were the only ones that had firearms. And that ended in a World War II. Just saying. It ended with a Holocaust. Well, started with a Holocaust and got worse and worse and worse until they were not able to be stopped. War-torn and third world country when it comes to violence. Your brain must be mush. No, it's violence is everywhere. One thing that keeps us from being turned into a third world country is the people's ability to stop criminals, to stop that kind of violence, to stop our government from allowing that kind of violence to happen. At least 5 deaths per week by EMIS. Canada has a ton of rules for gun use and ownership. It sucks. Well, and your government has control of the people, whereas the United States, the people have control of the government. It's a little different here in the United States.
It doesn't give any context, so I'm not admitting to that.
Right, that's what I'm asking though, is does it refresh your memory that you did spread the photo of this innocent woman as the Uvalde shooter?
Objection form.
I remember the general incident.
Did you learn anything from that?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about your coverage of the Allen, Texas mass shooting in summer of 2023. I saw that it was claimed in your legal papers that you claim that you published a widely reported and disseminated mugshot. Is that accurate?
That is the image that you are referring to.
Other than you, where was it reported prior to your show on May 7th?
Well, it is obviously on the Twitter account that is sitting on the desk that I've noticed is not mentioned in the lawsuit. And then obviously all the other defendants who are here probably disseminated the same image, and I'm sure plenty of other people.
This is Owen Shroyer, one of the hosts of InfoWars.
You know if any of them did it before or after you?
No.
Okay, so you've read the lawsuit, I take it, because you just commented on it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you would know from that lawsuit that none of your co-defendants published it before you, right?
I don't know.
Okay. And then we have this Twitter account, right? King Koa the Great. And
He is,
it's actually this.
yes, messy. He's pretty smart.
There we go. Let's mark that as 3.
He is a little cocky too.
All right, I've shown you what's been marked as Exhibit 3. This is a screenshot
you,
from
Bill.
the
Appreciate you.
video of your May 7th show. This is the tweet that you were talking about that was sitting on your desk. Okay. This King Koa the Great account on Twitter. You know that person's identity?
No.
Thank you for the super sticker.
That
That's
person's
super
completely anonymous to
appreciated.
you.
Yes.
That's, as a source, that's not ideal.
Not my source.
I'm saying as a source, that's not ideal.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
I'm not asking you to say okay, I'm asking you.
You're not asking me a question. So
I am. I'm asking you,
What's the question?
as a source, an anonymous account that you don't know the identity of is not ideal.
Objection
Correct.
form.
That's a statement.
Not ideal.
Okay. It shows a picture here, and you'll notice that it says booked in Dallas County, Texas for unknown. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so first of all, at this time, on May 7th, you knew the shooter wasn't booked for the shooting. You knew that, right?
I don't recall what I knew or didn't know at the time.
Okay. You see it shows a watermark for a website, right? It says recentlybooked.com.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
That doesn't mean anything.
There we go. Let's mark that.
That could have been him booked right afterwards.
All right. Fanny, you what's been marked as Exhibit 4, and I want you to take a look at the listing on recentlybooked.com. Did you ever visit this webpage?
Nope.
Did you ever ask anyone to do that?
Nope.
Do you see where it says age 35?
Yep.
Seeing that would have caused doubt that this was an image of a 33-year-old shooter, right?
Sure.
You would agree that before you discuss a
Sarah.
photo on your show allegedly showing a mass murderer, you need to ensure that reasonable steps were taken to verify its accuracy.
I was not discussing this photo. I had nothing to do with the printing of this photo. I had nothing to do with this photo ending up on my desk. I had nothing to do with anything being highlighted in this photo. I had nothing to do with this. I never asked it to be put on the screen, as I said in my affidavit.
And you shouldn't have let that happen.
That's
should
what
you?
There's
he
nothing
said.
I can do. I don't have control over it.
I'm not understanding. It's you can.
No, you are understanding.
No, I am. I'm
Yeah,
asked
he
you earlier.
understands.
You have people who work under you. You can give instructions to.
And did I tell anybody to put that image on the screen?
You should have. Don't you think you should have instructed people not to put anonymous images on your desk?
Objection form.
Oh, Jesus.
My boss puts it on the desk or somebody puts it on the desk for him. What am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do.
I'm not sure where you're getting that your boss put it on your desk. Don't you tell me that you had no idea who put it on your desk?
So, okay, so I don't know who put it on my desk. It wasn't me.
You walked into a studio, got onto a show to a large audience, and started
Okay.
talking about materials you'd never seen. You
I
would
wasn't talking about that material.
I'm sure we have a video of you talking about this.
You have a video of me talking about a mass shooting, which was a story that happens to be the same name as this guy.
Right, you understand that when we're looking at this image right here, that this is a screenshot of your show. You understand your viewers saw this, right?
I'm the host of a show on free speech systems by InfoWars. I had nothing to do with that image being on the desk or on the screen.
Right, and you have the ability,
Have a
if
good
you
night,
want,
hippie witch.
to give instructions to the members of your staff
Be safe.
about what materials should be on your desk, don't you?
Well, actually, I am supposed to leave the materials on the desk because the host, whose desk it is, likes his stuff to stay on the desk. So no, I can't just clear out all the materials.
So in other words, whether you might, you're getting on a show to talk to a bunch of people, and whether you might end up saying something proper or improper is dependent on the materials that were left on the desk by Alex Jones.
No,
Objection form.
No.
no.
I want to make sure that we're clear that you did nothing to ensure that photographs used during your
Exactly.
broadcast were accurate?
Objection form.
I had nothing to do with that photo on the desk or on the screen.
And he's being very, very out front with them. Is like, I don't control what people put up on the screen. I was talking about a pew-pewer that was out there pew-pewing people. We had a name. Whoever showed the picture showed the wrong picture. Whoever talked about the picture talked about the wrong picture. That wasn't information I had. That wasn't information I talked about. And they can show it and he'll say, I did not talk about this.
During a breaking news event, you should only discuss to your audience and publish to your audience the image
is
of
a
an alleged
statement.
mass murder if the image was confirmed using a primary source. Would you agree with that?
I had nothing to do with the publishing of that image.
That's not what I asked you, Mr. Shore.
Doesn't matter.
You want me to
Repeat.
ask it again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. During a breaking news event, you should only discuss or publish an image of a mass alleged shooter if the image was confirmed using a primary source. You agree with that?
Yes.
I want to talk about your use of anonymous materials, how you approach that, okay? And certainly you recall the time on your show when you used an anonymous blog about a Sandy Hook parent named Neil Heslin. You remember that?
It's funny because these anonymous accounts that you always bring up as the basis for my lawsuits never end up in a lawsuit with you.
That is interesting, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is interesting how the
Very
journalist, the professional commercial journalist,
It is.
has a duty that's different than a random person on Twitter. Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't know. That's all about interpretation, I suppose.
No, I'm asking you. You're in the industry. I'm asking you about the standard of care in your industry. Do you think your standard of care talking to your audience is any different than a random anonymous person on Twitter who's not a commercial media person? Do you believe that?
I'm not sure.
Going back to the use of that anonymous blog about Sandy Hook parent Neil Heslin, you acknowledge that was a serious error on your part, right?
Yes, and you're well aware of what led to those circumstances because you know a very similar thing happened where somebody brought that to me.
And you acknowledge that that was a serious error on your part.
Yes, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
You called it the worst moment of your journalism career.
Yeah, you're still bringing it up to this day.
And this, what we're talking about today, is the same kind of error.
Objection form.
No, definitely not the same kind of error, except that you pounced on it to bring me here.
You remember in December 2021 giving a deposition in the lawsuit involving Mr. Heslin, right?
Okay, I mean, sure, I was deposed, yes.
All right.
Yeah, he was deposed a lot.
Actually, let's go ahead. I'm going to keep it in the notebook for now for him, for ease, but we'll mark that as Exhibit 5.
No, he's a little aggravated because the person giving this deposition has deposed him multiple times and keeps trying to go after him, constantly attacking him. So he's a little aggravated with this person that's deposing him. Now the video deposition is just for video. Most of the time, whenever you get a deposition, you're not going to see video that goes along with it. A lot of times that can change the context of things. If you see the video, the attitude, the things that people say, those can change your perspective quite a lot.
All right, Mr. Shore, you see there right in front of you is a cover page for the deposition testimony you gave in 2021. Do you see that?
Yep.
Well, because he's been in multiple different depositions for different things that he said. So this isn't his first rodeo with this person for different depositions. So like he keeps bringing up depositions from Uvalde, keeps bringing up depositions from I think Sandy Hook, he'll bring up depositions from every single thing that he possibly can, because this attorney, he's got a, how would you put it, hard on for anybody that's on the opposite side of his beliefs.
Okay. Can you, and you'll see that it's condensed, there are 4 pages per page. All right. And if you can flip into that to me to page 116.
Okay.
All right. And do you see a highlighted part up at the top of that page?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to read that question and answer to you. Okay.
Okay.
But sitting here today, when you go back to InfoWars, are you going to just be on live, get handed a story with clips from someone you don't remember who it is, and run it? Or are you going to make sure it was fact-checked? And your answer was, well, I would say, after this experience, I am highly less likely to be handed a story or a video clip and air it without checking it myself. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. But that wasn't true because you've been doing that most days on your show ever since, right?
Objection form.
And that's what you did in this case, right?
Nope. Not at all.
Not the same thing to you.
Not even close.
Great. So you see after your answer, Mr. Ogden
Yes.
says, justice system is working. Not all the way, but that's a big step forward for us. I'm not saying that sarcastically. Genuinely, for both you and I and my clients, we appreciate that position. Mr. Ogden was being a bit naive there, wouldn't you agree?
I don't know.
Objection form.
Let me ask you again today. I'm wondering today, now after this experience, sitting here today, when you go back to InfoWars, are you ever going to be on just live and run with a story and discuss things that are on your desk that you've never seen before? Or are you going to make sure it was fact-checked?
Nope.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Shroyer. That's all I need from you today.
Of course it is.
We'll call it a deposition.
27 minutes. 27 minutes. That was it. Crazy, huh? Well, I've got more, so don't you worry. There will be more. So what this is, and you have to remember, this is coming from one side. This is coming from the person that's going after him. This is all public information that can be brought forward. So just be aware. There's probably going to be some pretty horrible things that are said here. Love his smile. That's awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. How is it his fault if someone puts a picture that should not have been put up? Well, and that's what they were trying to get at. Present your screen. Let me share this with you just so you can sort of see. Now, this is the narrative that they wrote. It says, on May 6, 2023, an individual began shooting visitors at the Allen Premium Outlets, a large outdoor mall in Allen, Texas. In a matter of minutes, 5 adults and 3 children were deleted. 7 other victims were wounded. The pew-pewer was a 33-year-old Marcio Garcia. They claim, don't know if this is true or not, he was a far right-wing extremist. His extensive online writings cataloged his white supremacy and neo-Nazi affinities. He committed the massacre while wearing a tactical vest embroidered with right-wing death squad patch. His body was tattooed with Yahtzee symbols, including lightning bolts and a large, crooked cross. The tragedy immediately became the leading news story across the nation and much of the world. On the day of the pew-pewing, no details were released about the pew-pewer, but on May 7th, 2023, media organizations began to report on his identity based on the release of his name and date of birth by law enforcement. That same day, false images of the pew-pewer began spreading on social media. The false images showed booking photographs of the plaintiff, the person that was suing them, taken in 2022. Plaintiff shares the name Marcio Garcia, but he is 3 years older than the puppeteer. Numerous journalists and social media users immediately debunked the images. Now, Owen Shroyer's use of the image. Owen Shroyer is a white ring extremist celebrity, which that I don't think they needed to put in there, but they could just say that he's a celebrity who presents himself as a journalist who provides live unscripted news coverage. The Shroyer has previously testified that when he reports news on the show, he holds himself out to his audience to trust him that it's the truth and that he would like people to believe him. It's a fair reporter. Shroyer has testified that people tune into his show to get information. Now, on May 7th, the internet video show The War Room with Owen discussed the Allen Outlet Mall shooting and specifically the identity of the puppeteer. During this discussion, Shroyer displayed a photo in a tweet by an anonymous social media account. The tweet featured an image of the plaintiff is discussing his identity. Now, here's the problem. He's changing what he just said because he said he had no control. So Shroyer didn't display the photo. The photo was displayed. Big difference. Yeah, how is it false if someone puts up a picture that should not have been put up? That is the point. Shroyer then tapped his finger 3 times in rapid succession on a printed out copy of the tweet on his desk, signaling to his crew to switch to an overhead camera to a shot from above his desk known as the document camera. The view then switched to camera shot of the tweet, and it stated those things right there. Media, blah, blah, reality. While displaying plaintiff's photo, Shroyer said his name was Marcio Garcia, your white person. But we know now this is the leftist logic. We know now this actually has nothing to do with its skin color. It has everything to do with politics, don't you know? As discussed later herein, Shroyer acted recklessly in using the image of the plaintiff to deny reports that the shooter had no neo-Nazi beliefs. Also, Stephen Crowder did the same thing, which he was, they talk about it there. I'm not going to pull up his image here because they do have the image. Now, this was the Hispanic white Supreme pizza guy. Yeah, that was correct. That was what this was all about. The problem is where they got that information from wasn't that they went searching for it. There were other outlets, news organizations that were showing the picture of the defendant. So that right there is what caused all this kerfuffle. Yes. And it sucked. It sucked for him. It sucked for everybody involved. Especially sucked for the people that had lost their lives. Yeah, they were no longer breathing. Pretty horrible thing. Are they putting the person who put that photo up on trial? No, because the person that was put in that, the person who put them up there, it doesn't matter. They settled out of court. So this would have been a defamation lawsuit, and they defamed him. They settled it out of court, and that's where it ended up. Sometimes it's easier to settle these kinds of things out of court. Somebody did say that that same person is coming back and he's asking for more money. Good luck with that. I don't think it's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. It could, but I don't think it's going to. There's a reason why whenever you settle these kinds of lawsuits, you're not able to go back and get more money again and again and again and again and again. They want it to end because it becomes very, very, very costly. And this brings us to number 3. Number 3 is going to be the corporate representative of Louder with Crowder, LLC, also known as Jared. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. Like it if you like it, love it. Give it all the more love. Share screen. Let's bring this bad boy up right here. So there we go. And here we go. I assume that this are in the offices of
All right.
Crowder's.
Today's date is August 26th, 2024. The time is 11:01 a.m. Central Time, and we are on the record.
Okay, Mr. Morgan, if you'll raise your right hand, I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Morgan. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Sure. It's Gerald Morgan, GeraldMorgan.
Thank you. My name is Greg Adler. I'm one of the attorneys representing the plaintiff in this case, Mauricio Garcia. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had your deposition taken?
I think one time, but it was a long time ago.
Okay. Since you've had it taken before, I'll kind of breeze through what I call the admonitions, just some basic ground rules to make sure that we have a nice, clean and clear record, mainly. If your answer to a question is, I don't know, that's okay. Just try not to guess. So the difference, one way I like to illustrate it is there's a difference between estimating how tall your attorney is versus guessing how much cash she has in her purse. One of them you could give an estimate, the other one you'd just be guessing. Okay, so
Right.
just make sure you don't guess, right?
Mhm.
We'll try not to talk over each other. Try to let me finish my question before you start your answer. I know just in regular speaking, you know, we tend to kind of jump in at the end of the other person's sentence, but to make it easy on Wendy, let's just make sure that I finish my question, you start your answer, and then I'll be sure not to cut you off when you're doing your answer as well. Okay? If you need a break, use the bathroom or whatever, just say so. It's no problem. We should have plenty of time. Okay? You have any other questions before we get started?
No.
Okay. All right. So you understand that you're giving this deposition as an authorized representative of Louder with Crowder LLC, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when were you first told that you'd be giving this deposition?
I am not sure of the exact date.
You have an estimate?
I believe it was probably a month or so ago, something like that, maybe in the last couple of months.
Okay. Now, did you meet with your attorney about this deposition?
I did, yes.
When?
I met with her on, I believe, Friday of last week.
Okay. And how long did y'all meet?
Approximately 2 hours.
Okay. Did you review any documents in preparation for your deposition?
I don't know if we reviewed any documents, no.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Nothing that was potentially attached to your motion that forms the basis for this deposition? Nothing like that?
I had reviewed those documents, but I don't know that we actually went over those documents on Friday.
Okay. Did you do any independent research on any of the topics we notified you about for this deposition?
Answer to your question is yes, they did publish correction, and there was an apology. Yeah, that was something that they did do. I don't know about where InfoWars did. I think they just did a video making the correction, but I'm pretty sure that with Crowder they have that on print. So they went back on their, I think it's called show notes or something like that, and corrected it there.
I don't believe that I did. I had some data that I had pulled together in preparation for the deposition myself, but I didn't go online or do anything like that. No.
And what kind of data was that?
Just going back and looking at video of the air date of our episode. I think it was on the 8th.
May 8th, that'd be May 8th, 2023.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So how much time total did you devote to preparing to testify?
Maybe 3 or 4 hours total.
Okay. Did you talk
sorry
to
to hear
anyone
that,
other than
Sharon.
your attorney about the subject matter of your testimony?
I did, yes.
And who's that?
Stephen Crowder and Lane Kendall.
Okay. Who's Lane Kendall?
Lane Kendall acts kind of as our lead researcher, putting stories together for us before we go on air.
Okay. All right. Now I'd like to ask you a few questions about the company itself. Louder with Crowder LLC. If I use if I say the company, that's what I mean. Just kind of shorthand, so I don't have to say it every time. Or if I say LWC,
Sure.
we agree. We know what we mean.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just wanted to say there was someone that sent a wonderful, and I'll just use their initial. It would be DB, sent me this wonderful $10 Cash App. I appreciate you very much. And it was with a message of love you, Shizzy. And so I gave them a nice big thumbs up and a hug. So thank you very much, DB. I appreciate you very much. That was very kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay. So Louder with Crowder LLC is a media company.
Yes.
Okay. LWC publishes
Yeah,
articles
exactly.
and videos on the internet, correct?
We do, yes.
Okay. Who has ultimate editorial authority at Louder with Crowder LLC?
Ultimate editor.
I think ultimately it does come down to the owner of the company, Stephen Crowder.
Okay. And there's no print version of the website, right? It's all online.
Correct.
Okay. The articles on louderwithcrowder.com also aren't printed in a periodical or magazine, right?
No, they are not.
Okay. Does LWC have a broadcast license or operate under a broadcast license?
I do not believe so, no.
Okay. Does LWC have any broadcasting equipment?
Do you mean cameras and things like that?
No, I mean like big radio towers.
Oh, no, we don't.
Okay. Is the company an owner of a radio or television station or network of stations?
No, we are not.
Is the company a licensee of a radio or television station or network of stations?
Objection form.
Can you repeat the question?
Is the company a licensee of a radio or television station or network of stations?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Is the company an operator of a radio or television station or network of stations?
No.
Hey, Mr. Adler, what topic does this fall under?
That was my last question anyway on the topic, but broadcasting.
Okay, can you repeat that question? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, is the company an operator of a radio or television station or network of stations?
No.
Okay. All right, I'd like to transition a little bit over to your efforts to preserve and locate evidence for this case, okay?
Sure.
Did LWC order its employees to preserve evidence?
Yes.
Okay. When did Louder with Crowder order its employees to preserve evidence?
I don't remember the specific date, but once we were notified by our attorneys that there were questions.
Yeah.
Okay, can you give me an estimate?
I don't believe that I could accurately give you an estimate, no. I can look back though. We were contacted by our attorneys, so I'm sure that they would have that information.
Yeah.
Would this have been sometime
Good
in
answer.
the summer of 2023, or would it have
I
been
don't
more
know.
recently, like in the past couple of months in
Jeez.
2024?
Yeah,
I believe that it would be older than the last couple of months.
that's absolutely correct.
Okay.
See things like this, it's a political witch hunt, and you have to understand that you have political witch hunts like this that are going to constantly happen on YouTube or any other sort of format that they can possibly go after. And you'll see that they come after people that they consider to be right-leaning, right-wing, because they want to silence them. They went after Rush for the longest time, trying to get Rush shut down. They don't want to have people spreading what they consider disinformation. Currently, the way that YouTube is set up, there's certain things that you can't talk about on YouTube. Some of them are, a little racier that they don't want you doing, like, showing breastages on the YouTube or sex toys, those kinds of things. They don't want you doing a live with firearms or things of that sort. Those are some of the rules that they've put forward. They also want to get people to be, quiet. And in doing so, if they can quiet one part of opinion, they believe that they can win in the court of public opinion. That's why it's very important to allow everyone to be able to access that information, decide for themselves without getting all worked up and burnt out. that right there can be a big thing, is people getting worked up over things that they shouldn't be even worked up over, and it can be pretty bad. It can turn out really bad, as you will probably see in the next few months, how bad it is whenever you are on a constant attack of somebody and trying to destroy them. Yeah.
Were those instructions in writing?
I don't know. I'd have to look back.
So just so I'm clear, you don't remember whether the instructions you gave to employees to preserve evidence was verbal or in writing?
No, I thought you meant were the instructions from my attorneys to me in writing, and that's what I was saying. I'm not sure.
That's why I'm clarifying. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't want to get into communications you've had with your attorney. That's privileged. Okay, I'm not going to ask you about that. So let me just ask it again.
Sounds to me like you were.
You said that Louderworth Crowder instructed its employees to preserve evidence, correct?
Correct.
And what were those instructions, written or verbal?
Verbal.
Okay. Were all the documents relating to the company's knowledge of the events surrounding the publication of my client's photo and the company's decision-making process preserved, or any documents lost?
I believe they were all preserved.
Okay. Do you know for sure?
To the extent that they exist, they were preserved.
Okay. The company was asked to provide an authentic copy of the May 8th episode that you mentioned, I believe, a couple minutes ago.
Sorry, wrong button.
Of Louderworth Crowder, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the company was able to locate an authentic copy?
We were, yes.
All right. And that was provided to the company's attorney to provide to us, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Who at the company authenticated the video as being a true and correct copy?
That would be me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice picture.
So I'd like to ask you a little bit about the circumstances of your acquisition of the plaintiff's photograph, shifting gears again, okay? Now, it's my understanding that the company acquired the photograph from something called Today News Africa. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. In May 2023, was it the company's understanding that Today News Africa was a news organization?
It was our understanding that the reporter that posted that photo in an article was a White House credentialed reporter.
Okay,
we'll get to the reporter in a minute. Let's start with Today News Africa.
And that is a good question. Do you think it will be harder to hear both sides as all these suits and court interactions continue to increase? No, here's where it's important to note is that whenever you see that there's, I mean, all cameras in courtrooms showing the way that the legal procedures are happening, so everybody can make up their own mind and have an informed decision. Now, sometimes you'll see something and you might get something that somebody else doesn't quite get. So that's always a possibility. So does it continue to increase? No, those have always been there. It's just they're more publicized now. It's, if you think about it, to record something in a courtroom, you can have one of these. You can have something as simple as a phone, and you could record a whole thing inside of a courtroom. And that's why they have very strict rules on filming things inside courtrooms. One, if there's a sensitive topic, if, for example, if it's a witness that was raped, that could be something that you might not want to have that victim's face all over the place. Or if there's children involved, you don't want to have those victims, their faces plastered all over the place. So it looks like Charles Russell painting. It might be. It's a possibility. It could be. I don't know.
Two separate things, so let's make sure we keep them separate, right? So let me ask the question again. Back in May of 2023, was it the company's understanding that Today News Africa was a news organization?
I don't know what our understanding was. I don't know that we were aware or unaware of what they did. I don't know that they had come up before.
Okay. So I'll just ask this kind of open-ended, that you've kind of already answered it, but I'll give you a chance to elaborate if you want. What did the company know back in 2023, May of 2023, about Today News Africa?
I don't know that we knew much, if anything, about them.
Okay. So now going to the second part, the reporter that you referenced, Today News Africa is run by a man named Simon Ateba. You aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
No.
did the company know if anyone other than Simon Ateba did any reporting for Today News Africa?
Not to my knowledge.
So you're pretty sure it was just him?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a larger organization than just him or not.
Okay. Now, had the company ever previously cited Today News Africa in one of its own reports?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. What basis did the company have to believe that Today News Africa was reliable?
It was a White House credentialed reporter.
Okay. Well, what does that mean? A White House credentialed reporter?
Objection form. Go ahead, Nancy.
Damn it, I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. Are you able to still see the image? Hopefully I didn't mess things up too bad. Sometimes it happens. Just want to be sure that I didn't mess it up too bad. Well, let me know in chat. Is this the same lawyer? This one is making sense. No, it's a different attorney, different attorney altogether. But it's still for the same court case.
Mentioned, I believe, a couple minutes ago, of Louder with Crowder, correct?
Yes.
Let's see, how would I?
And the company was able to locate an authentic copy?
We were, yes.
Right. And that was provided to the company's attorney to provide to us, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Let's use.
Who at the company authenticated the video as being a true and correct copy?
Go. That's a perfect color. Use that.
That would be me.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you a little bit about the circumstances of your acquisition of the plaintiff's photograph, shifting gears again, okay? Now, it's my understanding that the company acquired the photograph from something called Today News Africa. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. In May 2023, was it the company's understanding that Today News Africa was a news organization?
It was our understanding that the reporter that posted that photo in an article was a White House credentialed reporter.
Okay, we'll get to the reporter in a minute. Let's start with Today News Africa. They're two separate things, so let's make sure we keep them separate, okay? So let me ask the question again. Back in May of 2023, was it the company's understanding that Today News Africa was a news organization?
I don't know what our understanding was. I don't know that we were aware or unaware of what they did. I don't know that they had come up before.
Okay. So I'll just ask this kind of open-ended, then you've kind of already answered it, but I'll give you a chance to elaborate if you want. What did the company know back in 2023, May of 2023, about Today News Africa?
I don't know that we knew much, if anything, about them.
Okay. So now going to the second part,
Yeah.
the reporter that you referenced, Today News Africa is run by a man named Simon Ateba. You aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did the company know if anyone other than Simon Ateba did any reporting for Today News Africa?
Not to my knowledge.
So you're pretty sure it was just him?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a larger organization than just him or not.
Okay. Now, had the company ever previously cited
Hey, how's
Today
it going,
News
Betsy?
Africa in one of its own reports?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. What basis did the company have to believe that Today News Africa was reliable?
It was a White House credentialed reporter.
How's it go?
Okay. Well, what does that mean?
Yes.
A White House
Objection.
credentialed reporter?
Objection form. Go ahead and answer.
That the person has gone through whatever steps are necessary to attain White House credentials.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do to confirm that Simon Ateba was actually a White House credentialed reporter?
My staff essentially said that this was a White House credential reporter, as they had cited themselves. And I know that he has a social media account as well.
Okay, so aside from your staff drawing that conclusion and Mr. Ateba having a social media account, what kind of research or investigation did your staff do to confirm that Mr. Ateba actually had White House credentials, White House press credentials?
I am unaware of any additional steps they took.
Okay. So what did the company do to confirm that Mr. Ateba was reliable?
Objection form.
Can you repeat the question?
What did the company do to confirm that Mr. Ateba was reliable?
We relied on the fact that he's a White House credentialed reporter.
Okay, so if you knew that Mr. Ateba was actually not a White House credentialed reporter, would you still have considered him reliable?
Objection form. Go ahead.
I think at that point, we would have made sure that we had a primary source.
Other than him?
Correct.
Okay. Let's ask, let's move over to the circumstances of your decision to publish the plaintiff's photograph, okay?
Mhm.
So you would agree that Louder with Crowder published our client's image on both May 8th and May 9th of 2023?
I agree that we did on May 8th. I am not sure that we did on May 9th. I just don't know.
If I were to represent to you that there was the initial broadcast, there's the initial publication, the video story on May 8th, and then a written story on May 9th, would that help you remember?
If you're referring to the website, then yes.
Yeah, the website would be on May 9th.
I believe. I don't know the date of that, but I would imagine it would have been on the site on that day.
Okay. In both cases, Louder with Crowder knew it was publishing the plaintiff's image for the purpose of identifying the shooter at the Allen outlet, right?
Objection form.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, in both cases, on May 8th and May 9th of 2023, the company knew it was publishing the plaintiff's image for the purpose of identifying the shooter at the Allen outlet.
Yes.
Same objection.
Oh, that sucks.
Who had ultimate responsibility for deciding whether the company would be publishing Mr. Garcia's photograph?
I believe Stephen Crowder would still be the person responsible, ultimately.
Okay. And you talked to him about this?
I didn't talk to him about his responsibility in this, but as the owner of the company, ultimately the responsibility falls on him.
Okay. Before publishing the image, did the company know if it was looking at the original image?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Did the company know who took the original image?
I don't believe so, no.
Did the company know when the photo was taken?
No.
Did the company know where the photo was taken?
No.
Last one, did the company know why the photo was taken?
No.
Uh-huh.
So let's focus on the May 8th video show, Stephen's show, called Louder with God. What time of day does the company publish the show?
I'm sorry, you say what time of day?
Yeah.
We go live at 9 a.m. Central. The show usually starts at 9:10.
Okay. So the company was reviewing a lot of media coverage about the
Got
shooting at that
lemmings
time.
and
Is that correct?
aliens. There you go.
Yes.
Okay. And the review of the media coverage, I'm guessing it would have been prior to that, around 9:10 that morning, showed that Today News Africa was the only news organization or outfit that was showing the shooter's face.
I don't believe so. I thought there was at least one other that was showing the face as well, reporting on that article.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember something from that publication? And I'm going to read you the quote. It says, "We're pulling this from Today News Africa.
These are
It's
all
because it's the only news outfit
and
showing you the shooter's face."
cases are no
End
longer
quote.
active.
Oh, from the show?
Yeah. Sound right?
Yes, I do remember Stephen saying that.
Okay. So at that point, Today News Africa sounds like that was the only one you were aware of that was showing the shooter's face. Would you agree?
No, to clarify his comments, in context to the story, we were discussing legacy media. He didn't say that specifically, but we went on to cite legacy media that was not posting the photo. There were other people posting the photo as well.
So Today News Africa is not legacy media, correct?
I would not think so, no.
Okay. So that would be a non-legacy media outfit that was showing the shooter's face.
Mhm.
Which means that legacy media or mainstream media at that point had not shown the shooter's face, correct?
Objection.
To my knowledge, at that point, they had not.
Okay. So the company basically told its viewers that mainstream media outlets were hiding the picture from the public then, right?
We did, yes.
Okay. And part of the decision to publish the photo was that the company wanted its viewers to see the truth being hidden by the mainstream media. Would you agree?
Yes, that it was a Hispanic shooter.
Okay. And I'll read you another quote from the episode. Quote, "They want to tell you that he was a white supremacist and not see his very Hispanic looking face," end quote. You remember that?
I do, yes.
Okay. And so the point of showing the shooter's, quote, "very Hispanic looking face," end quote, through publication of my client's photo was to refute what the company believed was the mainstream media's lies that the shooter was a white supremacist, right?
I believe more accurately is to challenge the coverage from the mainstream media when it didn't fit the narrative.
Okay. And what was the narrative?
That when it's a white supremacist or someone they can show a white picture of, the media tends to stay on the story longer than when it's not.
Okay. Shouldn't it have occurred to the company that the mainstream media hadn't published the shooter's photo because they were still trying to make sure they identified the right person?
Objection formal.
I don't know what they were trying to do at the time. I don't know why they had not, but we had a theory as to why they were not.
So I'm not really asking you to comment on what they were doing. I'm asking you to comment on what you were thinking at the time, the company was thinking. So let me ask the question again. Shouldn't it have occurred to the company that the mainstream media hadn't published the shooter's photo yet because they were still trying to figure out whether they had identified the right person?
Objection form.
I think my answer remains the same. We had a theory as to why we weren't assuming they were trying to confirm the identity of the shooter.
And what's that theory?
The theory was that it didn't fit the narrative, and so that the media coverage would then dissipate.
Okay. But the company would have known on May 8th that that was a legitimate possibility though, right? That the mainstream media had not yet confirmed that the photo of my client was the right person.
Objection form.
I disagree. I don't know that it would have. I don't think that that's something that we would have been considering at the time, given the argument that we were making.
Right, but I'm not asking about the argument you're making. I'm asking about, is it possible that the mainstream media didn't publish a photo of the shooter yet because they hadn't confirmed who it was?
Objection form.
Is that possible?
I believe it's possible, but I don't know why they weren't posting that photo.
Sure. You can, I'm not asking you what they would have known. You couldn't know that. All right, let's go to your knowledge of the Allen Outlet Mall shooter at the time plaintiff's photograph was published.
Thank you.
Did Louder with Crowder follow the official announcements from the Allen Police Department?
I am unaware if we followed them. I know that I know that those types of announcements are things that we typically run across when we're covering a story.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
You don't remember if you were following the announcements from the Allen Police Department as it pertains to this story, though?
I don't. No, I don't.
Okay. And same question, but regarding the Texas Department of Public Safety, were you following those announcements?
Again, I don't know for sure if we were following all of their announcements.
Okay. So on May 7th, 2023, the company was aware that Allen Police and Texas DPS announced the suspect was Mauricio Garcia, 33 years of age, of Dallas, Texas, right?
I believe so. I don't know if our team saw those specific posts or not, though.
Give him
Okay.
wings. I like that.
Did you ever ask them if they saw him?
I did not.
Okay. By May 8th, the date of the first publication, May 8th, 2023, Louder with Crowder was aware of the suspect's name and age, right?
Correct, as reported by other outlets at that point.
Okay. Let's go ahead and pull up tab 1, which will be marked as Exhibit 1. And if we can, we'll go to, we're already there. Let's zoom in if we could, please. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is from the May 8th publication. This says there was a deadly mass shooting in Allen, Texas, and we have information on the killer, Mauricio Garcia. We'll be refuting the media's lies about the fact that he was a white supremacist and so much more. So, according to your website, Stephen Crowder had information on the killer and would be refuting the media's lies that he was a white supremacist, correct?
Objection form. Go ahead.
Correct.
And that was based on our client having what Mr. Crowder called a, quote, very Hispanic looking face?
No, it was based on the fact that we didn't see any evidence of white supremacy in any of the information that was available.
So what you're saying then is that it was meant to suggest that the shooter could not be a white supremacist because he was Hispanic, therefore the media was lying, right?
We thought the story was a little difficult to believe.
Understood, but
still was.
When you said when it says we'll be refuting the media's lies about the fact that he was a white supremacist, what you're saying is the media is claiming he's a white supremacist, and that cannot be true because he's Hispanic, correct?
We were going to make the argument that we didn't believe that it was a white supremacist or somebody motivated by white supremacy.
Because the actual shooter was Hispanic, correct?
That and the reason that we didn't find anything else about white supremacy tied to him.
Okay. So the company was trying to point out that the media was being dishonest because it was insinuating that white people were somehow blameworthy for a crime committed by a non-white person. Correct?
Objection form.
Can you restate that? Sorry.
Yeah, so the company was trying to point out that the media was being dishonest because it was insinuating that white people were somehow blameworthy for a crime committed by a non-white person, right? That's the narrative.
I think also The bigger point we were making is that the coverage of the shooting would then trail off because it turned out not to be a white person that did the shooting.
Okay. So since this all unfolded over the past 15 months, you've seen photos of the actual shooter, correct?
I don't know that I have.
So in preparing for this deposition, you didn't take any time to look up who the actual shooter was?
I did not.
Okay. So if I were to represent to you that the actual shooter was in fact Hispanic, would you have any reason to disagree with that?
No, the pictures on the ground at the scene showed that, I think, as well.
Okay. So you're aware that the actual shooter had tattoos of a swastika and SS lightning bolts?
I saw pictures of that immediately following, but not at the time of publication.
So at some point after that?
Yes.
Okay. And you understand that those symbols are associated with Nazism and white supremacy?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the company understood that Hispanic people can also be neo-Nazis or white supremacists?
Objection form.
I would disagree. I don't know that we understood that. I think that was part of the confusion.
It's better.
You understand that now, though?
Objection form.
I still think I would be surprised.
Okay, so just to summarize real quick, your testimony is that you understand that the actual shooter was Hispanic, correct?
Mhm.
And that he also had tattoos of a swastika and SS lightning bolts, correct?
Correct.
And that those symbols are associated with Nazism and white supremacy, right?
Correct.
So you understand that Hispanic people can also be neo-Nazis or white supremacists,
Objection form.
I understand that they can have the tattoos. I don't know why this person had those tattoos or what other actions they had that would have confirmed that.
I see. So is there any other meaning to having a swastika tattoo or SS lightning bolts? Somebody tattoos that on themselves?
No, I don't think so. It's a pretty bold step.
Okay. So the possibility that the shooter was actually a Hispanic neo-Nazi or Hispanic white supremacist is not something the company considered before it published my client's photo linking him to the shooting?
Objection form.
I think we were all a little surprised by that claim.
I understand. But is that something the company considered before it published the photo?
I don't believe so. I think it surprised us that that claim is being made by the media.
Okay. Is it the company's understanding that some Hispanic people consider themselves white, some do not? Therefore, Hispanic people can also be white supremacists?
Objection form.
I don't know what Hispanic people consider themselves potentially as it relates to this. I'm not sure.
Have you ever filled out a form somewhere where they ask you to identify your race and it'll say something like Asian, African American, and then it gets to white, and then there's like a subcategory where it says Hispanic or non-Hispanic? You ever seen that?
I have, yes.
So you can be a white Hispanic?
Objection form. Mr. Adler, what topic does this fall under? Because I'm not sure how the shooter identifies is relevant to any of the topics here.
I'm not
Just
asking.
caught
I'm
up.
happy to
That's
listen
awesome.
to you.
I'm sorry?
I said, if you can explain to me how that fits under one of these topics, I'm happy to let it continue. I just don't know how that's relevant here.
Last question anyway.
All right.
So can you please answer it?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Sure. I gave you an example. You said, yes, you've seen that on a form where a person can check Hispanic and they can check white or non-white. So would you
Are
agree?
you saying the white or non-white is a subsection of the Hispanic on the form? Is that how you're laying it out?
No, white or Hispanic, non-Hispanic. So there are Hispanic people who consider themselves white. You've seen that on the form, right?
Objection form.
That's not what I was saying yes to. I was saying yes to seeing a form that has
Angel Elvis
Hispanic
with a pig nose.
and then white and black.
Groucho Marx.
You said non-Hispanic. I thought it was another category. I didn't know if it was a subset of another category. I really don't know if Hispanics consider themselves to be white in some cases or not. I don't know.
Okay. Let's go to the circumstances of the decision to use the picture in the May 9th article on louderwithcrowder.com. And if we could, let's pull up the first exhibit we're going to mark as Exhibit 1. This one will be Exhibit 2.
Gosh, Mark's had a big baby. It's so wrong.
So if we can zoom in on look at so we can see the date. We can just zoom everything in, zoom the whole thing in a little bit more. Okay. Mr. Morgan, you see right there it says May 9th, 2023
Yes,
is the
I do.
date. Okay. Do you know what time the article was published?
I do not know.
Okay. And if we scroll up a little bit so that we can see the headline and then scroll down so that we can see the article. The article shows our client's image both in the headline, that would be there, and then keep going down, and in the article itself. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Now, the article states, quote, "I tend not to like to share photos of killers, but since the media refuses to, this is the new face of white supremacy." End quote. You see that?
I do, yes.
Oh, that'll get you in
Stephen
trouble.
Crowder had already approved the use of the photo since he had used it on his show the previous day, right?
When you say approve, I said ultimate responsibility falls on him as the owner of the company, but he was not involved, to my knowledge, in the approval of this particular story.
That's true, right?
Okay, but he had approved using it the previous day.
When we used it, yes, but I just wanted to make sure I clarified.
Okay. And so I take it there aren't any additional circumstances behind the decision to use this photo on May 9th that we haven't already talked about on May 8th, right? The reason's the same.
Objection form. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. When the article says the media refuses to share photos of the killer, do you think that was still true on May 9th, 3 days after the shooting?
Yes, because they did.
Objection form. Go ahead.
I believe so. I don't believe any legacy media had shared the photo yet.
Correct.
Had the company done any investigation to see if the media had shared photos of the killer?
I believe our team constantly is on the lookout to see if those things have been shared or not.
Well, how's it going, Sir Frank
Okay.
Otter?
Now, in this article, the company did not qualify its statement that the photo of the person in the article was the shooter, correct?
I think that is the implication, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and read the article.
Well, it's pretty short, and we can scroll through it if that helps refresh your memory. But it doesn't look to me like in here that the company attributed the identification of the plaintiff's photo to anyone else.
Oh, I see what you mean. I don't know that we did. Yeah, if it's not in there, I don't know that we did.
Okay, so the
I do know
article
that the article was specifically talking about Elon Musk commenting on this as well.
Okay, but the article doesn't cite as the basis for the company's reporting any other sources who identified my client as the shooter, correct?
Not to my knowledge in this article, but like I said, I haven't read all the way through it. So,
And the article does not claim to be reporting on something that some other news organization published, right?
I don't know if they put any links to sources down at the bottom or not.
Okay.
But I didn't see anything in the text.
Okay.
Hmm.
So based on my reading, and you're free to if you remember
Why?
differently. The article simply states that as fact that my client was the shooter. And I'd like to read you a quote from the article. Quote, it says, "The latest report is that this Mexican white
I wish you'd read the whole
supremacist,
article.
out of every social media platform he could choose, posted on a Russian one no one has heard of." End the quote there. So before this article was published, the company was aware that the actual shooter had been posting on a Russian social media platform, correct?
I believe that's what he's saying there, yes.
Okay. Which means the company could have checked the shooter's social media profile to verify whether my client was really the shooter before publishing his photo and linking him to the shooting, right?
Objection form.
I'm not aware of what information they actually came across on that site. All I know is that there was questions about the shooter's identity.
Okay, so in light of the fact that the company knew about the shooter's social media page before publishing this article, that also means the company possessed or could have at least seen photos of the real shooter, who was not our client, before it published this article, correct?
Objection form. I believe that misstates his testimony. I don't think he said he knew what time the article was posted.
Well, I don't think it matters. You have to have the knowledge of the social media, the existence of the social media postings before you write about them.
He can still answer the question. I'm just making my objection.
Yeah, I think as we noted in the article, it's a Russian social media page that nobody had ever heard of, and that was from a latest report, not necessarily just us going to it. I think we're questioning the validity of a lot of things at this date. Again, I don't know the time of day, but I know we're still asking questions about what was really going on.
Okay, so just to recap, the company must have known about the existence of the social media site prior to publishing this article. Otherwise, it could not have referenced it in the article, correct?
We were aware of reporting about the social media site.
Okay.
By other
That's a big
agencies.
difference.
And I think it was starting to circulate at that point on Twitter as well. Twitter at the time, now X.
Okay.
We're
the
done with
company
this
check
case.
that
That's
social
right,
media
Lady
profile
T.
to
Just blame
verify
Jeremy.
whether my client was really the shooter before publishing his photo in this article?
I don't know.
Okay. If the company had checked the real shooter's social media profile, it would have caused significant doubts that the photo of our client depicted the actual shooter, right?
Objection form.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your policies, guidelines, or requirements for the verification or vetting of information or images you publish. Do you have written editorial standards?
We have editorial standards. I'm unaware if they are written or just verbally communicated at that time.
Okay. Boom.
What are your requirements for publishing a photo allegedly showing a mass murder?
He's back.
Objection one.
I think anytime that we're commenting on information that is out in the media being talked about and being reported on, we want to make sure that we have two sources, one primary and then one additional source.
Okay. Would you agree that it's the usual practice of your company to take steps to verify accuracy of the images it publishes?
If the media is already talking about those images and we can confirm at least two organizations are talking about it, then we can take steps to make sure that we follow those guidelines.
Did you get two sources to verify the accuracy of the photo of my client in this
Let's
case?
get some thumbs up on the chat.
What sources were those?
That was the article from Simon Ateba, and then the Hollywood Unlocked site was reporting on it. And I believe there was one more, but I'm not sure if at that time we were considering that a source or not.
You're not sure if the Hollywood Unlocked was considered
an additional one. There's a lot of social media accounts were talking about it. We try not to
cowbell.
based off the social media posts on stuff like that.
And the Hollywood Unlocked would have been more of a social media post.
Thank you.
No, I wasn't referring to Hollywood Unlocked. They were one of the additional sources outside of Simon Ateba's article. But I believe there were other people talking about it, but we didn't cite them as a source at that time.
Okay, and so you said a primary source is one of the two sources that you would want to make sure you have, correct?
Correct.
And of the two, which was the primary source? Simon Ateba?
Yeah, the White House credential reporter was the primary source for us on this.
That's it. Are the following statements consistent with your company's editorial requirements? You should not display an image of a suspected mass murderer unless the image has been confirmed by someone involved in the official investigation or by reference to some kind of primary sourcing.
I believe primary sourcing, yes. We don't always have the information from somebody conducting the investigation.
Okay. You failed to fulfill your responsibility in verifying the photo of a mass murderer by assuming another news website verified the image. Correct?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Would you agree that you failed to fulfill your responsibility in verifying the photo of a mass murderer by assuming another news website verified the image?
I would disagree with that.
Why is that?
We had a primary source and a secondary source reporting on that. So the mistake for posting that photo would have been made by Simon Ateba as the originator of it.
Okay. And that's assuming that Simon Ateba was actually a White House credentialed reporter?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Would you agree that you should take special care with reporting information that, if false, might cause grief or damage reputations?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that the company's policies required all employees to comply with the safeguards we've discussed today to ensure the publication of information is correct and accurate?
I think everybody at the company involved with publication of stories, yes.
So logically, would it be also fair to say that the company requires those safeguards because it understands that failing to uphold those safeguards can cause damage to innocent people?
Yes.
When it comes to the decision to show this photo, do you believe the company did anything wrong to our client, Mauricio Garcia, that had nothing to do with this?
I believe that we followed the practices that we would institute in any case when we're talking about a story that's out in the media.
Okay. Do you think the company should have been a little bit more careful deciding to show Plaintiff's photo?
Well, see, that sort of goes to show, I mean, you know, think about this. You know, I'm drawing funny pictures over G Morgan. There's no ill will towards G Morgan. I don't know the guy. Don't cover any of the story. As compared to if I was to draw like a little Austrian artist's mustache on him. Now that right there could be considered defamation. You think? Just saying. Some people don't think about that. How about Dumbo ears? I could do that too. But I just making a point.
I believe that we followed the practices that we would normally follow with two sources for the information.
Okay. Did the company investigate the truth or falsity of the photo before publishing it?
I think, like I said, we followed our procedures to make sure that we had a primary source and a secondary source before we talked about information that was already out in the public.
So you don't think the company should have investigated a little bit more fully to make sure that picture was accurate?
I don't think that there was anything more that the company at that time would have done to follow our policies to make sure that we're reporting accurately on what's actually out in the media already.
Okay. When the company learned that it had published a photo of someone who had nothing to do with the shooting, did it take steps to remove publications from the internet?
Have a wonderful night.
From the internet specifically, are you talking about the video or the article or both?
All of it.
Once there was question about the identity of the shooter, to be cautious, we changed the thumbnail on our video and then subsequently privated that video and removed it from the internet. On the website portion, that operates a little bit more autonomously. I don't think that we were even aware that that photo had been used on the website.
Okay. Any other steps taken by the company?
During the subsequent broadcast on May 9th, we addressed the fact that this was now in dispute and that there was a significant question about the identity of the shooter.
Okay. So did the company instruct its employees to remove anything that they had posted showing the identity of the wrong shooter, wrong person as the shooter?
We, like I said, we took the thumbnail down and changed it on the video and then made the video private subsequently from there. But there was no general directive that went out.
Okay. But whatever instruction was given to employees, that would also include Stephen Crowder, correct?
I don't know that Stephen was a part of that decision.
Who was part of that decision?
Me and the research team with Lane Kendall.
Okay. Would the company agree that it's important to take down all of those publications to not cause further harm to an innocent person?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you remember earlier we discussed the company locating and authenticating a copy of the May 8th episode, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And you understand that when the company provided that copy to us about 3 weeks ago, it did so with a link to a website.
That was not what I was referring to when you asked me that question. I found the video on Friday last week as the original video and sent it to my lawyers. I think at the time that you're referring to, we were unsure if that video still existed in our database or not.
Okay, so 3 weeks ago, in response to our discovery requests, your attorney sent us a link to the original May 8th episode. Are you aware of that?
Yes. Is it? Do you know the website address to that? Is it something?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's a ripping site that basically rips and reposts people's video illegally.
Which site is that?
The one I've seen, I think it has like TVAMU or something like that, TVAMU something .tv to it, the website address. I've seen that particular clip of the video.
Okay. So you're saying that's a ripping site?
I believe that's what it is. There are sites that will rip videos down from YouTube and repost them as original content to try to siphon views.
Exactly.
If I told you it was MGTOW.tv, would that ring a bell?
It sounds right.
Okay. Do you know if the company will... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Greg. I know we don't publish there though.
Okay, so you don't have an account on that site?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So if I told you that the link to that article is still live on the internet right now, would that be something that if you did have an account, you should have taken down?
Objection form.
If we had an account, yes. But like I said, we don't publish to that site.
Okay. So just so I'm clear, it sounds like we were given a link to a live version of the May 8th episode that's still on the internet as of today, but you're not sure if that's ripped or an account that Louder with Crowder has on that website.
Objection form.
I'm pretty sure that that is not a site that we publish to. That's never been a site that we've talked about publishing to. It's a site, I think, that rips videos and posts them as original content, something we would have no control over.
Okay. Is there any reason, to your knowledge, you said you were the person who authenticated a copy of that video, right?
I was referring to the video that I gave to my attorney on Friday.
Okay, which one was that?
It was an original link from YouTube. So the video did exist in the YouTube archives. And I think there was some debate as to whether that was accurate or not a few weeks ago. And so they tried to find a copy of the video somewhere. And that's why you ended up with the copy that you had.
So I ended up with a copy of the MGTOW.tv one because you had not been able to find one on YouTube until last Friday.
Until Friday, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we've been at it for almost an hour. Let's take just a short 10-minute break and go off the record. Come back in a few minutes. See if I have any final questions for you. We shouldn't be going too much longer. I appreciate your straightforward answers.
Absolutely, thank you.
Sure.
Off the record at 11.
Well, and those are some pretty straightforward answers. I mean, he's being completely honest with it. Like, we pulled it off and we made the corrections. But by then the damage was done. And of course you had MGTOW TV that also was posting this. And they were ripping videos, which, you know, they'll do that on Rumble, but they tend to not do those on YouTube because those will get struck pretty damn quickly for people reposting videos like that. To get views. There's a lot of sites out there that will do that kind of thing just to basically try to get their numbers up, try to get, you know, people on YouTube do some really shady stuff, you know, to try to generate revenue. You'll see more of it as summer rolls around.
11:51 a.m. The time is 12:02 p.m. and we're back
it's
on the
almost
record.
over. We probably got about another
Just as a
15-20 minutes.
Issue. I just want to make sure that both of those exhibits have been marked.
Oh, 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes, it's over. You like to kill Roy? Awesome.
You're on mute, I think, still.
Yeah, there are a lot of fake news channels.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm a fake news channel.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
I just make a joke out of everything.
Mr. Morgan, just a few more questions, please. Could you please identify any individual besides your attorney that you discussed the subject matter of your testimony you'd be giving today?
Stephen Crowder and Elaine Kendall.
Okay. Anyone else?
I don't believe, other than mentioning that I had to give a deposition today, I don't believe there was anybody else.
No one on the research team?
Lane Kendall's on the research team. He's the one that I spoke with about it.
No one else?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
It's a close group of people sitting around, so if somebody overheard us, they were not the person I was talking to.
Understood. Okay. What do you think primary source means?
For us, primary source means some kind of accredited source, something that has some credibility standard to it.
Okay. I'd like you to assume, just for the purpose of this question, that primary source means the firsthand or contemporary account of an event or topic that was created by people that were actually present or involved at the time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Under that definition, did the company have a primary source?
No.
Under that definition, no.
Okay. Again, using that definition, would the company think it's okay to show someone's image as a mass murderer without a primary source?
I think if you're breaking the story and you're the first person to do it,
rephrase that
then
question.
You would need, I believe, that definition of a primary source, but not if you're commenting on what is out in the media already.
Okay, so you're saying that if you don't have your own primary source, it's okay to publish the image? Is that what you're saying?
Let me clarify the definition, because you're using a definition that we do not use. My definition of primary source means sources with credibility that are already reporting on these stories, and we're simply discussing what they're reporting on. Under a new definition of primary source, which may be, might be more accurate than the word that I'm using, I would think that we need To be able to break a story, we would need more firsthand source information to be able to break a story.
And if you understand what he's saying, what he's saying right here in this portion of it is that, you know, if they were the one breaking the story and talking about the story initially, you know, it would be what would be a perfect example. Breaking that you know, Fluffy is caught up in a tree, and, you know, we've got a reporter on the ground that's, you know, trying to get Fluffy out of the tree. That would be breaking the story. What he's talking about for them, they weren't breaking the story. What they were doing is they were discussing what the media was talking about. So they're not breaking the story. So they're going by a reliable source for that story. Basically they would be doing a video about me talking about Fluffy caught up in a tree. That's what that would be a primary source for him.
Okay.
If that
So
makes sense.
repeating a story that somebody else had already published does not fall under the same standard in your view?
No.
I think it falls into the standard that I've outlined for us to have primary source information plus an additional source to make sure that the information that we're discussing is we're representing what they have reported accurately.
I understand, but going back to, let's say, the article.
All right, get some rest there.
Already established
Have a good
that
night,
there
Slee.
was no
See you
reference or attribution to any other source in that article, correct?
It did say, according to the latest report, I believe, in the article, and it did seem like it was blue and highlighted. I don't know if that was hyperlinked to a source, but the article also showed other people commenting on it, like Elon Musk, as well.
Okay. Did the company know where Simon Ateba sourced the photo?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. What is Hollywood Unlocked?
I don't know much about Hollywood Unlocked, otherwise, other than it's just an internet site.
Yeah.
Is it a gossip site?
I
Don't know.
Okay. If you don't know what Hollywood Unlocked is, and that was one of your two sources, how is that any better than a social media post?
Well,
I think social media posts, if they come from sources that we would count as primary sources with credibility, can still
that
count.
would be like talking about what the
But
AP says.
it was a secondary source to a White House credentialed reporter who had already reported on this.
Yeah.
But you don't know what Hollywood Unlocked is, correct?
I do not personally know, no.
You don't know that it's a gossip site or not?
I don't know what they do. No.
It's what he just said.
I think that's it. I think that's all I have.
All
Good morning.
right.
Thank you. Go off the record.
Thank you, Mr. Adler. I appreciate it.
Let me see.
Off the record at 12:08 p.m.
All right. All righty. Well, that does it for tonight. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody over so you can go check out where I'm going to be tomorrow morning. We'll be with the lovely, the most gorgeous, the talented Mo in the Deep End. So that's where I'm going to send you guys, just so you can see where I'm going to be hanging out tomorrow morning. Mo is really awesome. While you're over there, just give her a sub, give her a thumbs up, show her a little bit of love. We're going to be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And it should be an absolute blast. If you want to see some complete and utter humor and laughing, I think last time we started talking about monkeys or something. It gets crazy. Just go over there, show a little bit of love, and I will see you guys in the morning. Till then, peace.
Oh, you thought I was done, bless your heart, but I'm still living rent-free, it's a work of art. Call me daddy, call me nut, call me the goat. You're paddling up upstream while I'm running this boat. You say, I don't care, yet you glued to the screen. Caught up in my glow while you stay unseen. Your shade's like a breeze, it's barely a draft. Meanwhile, I'm the Picasso of roasting your ass. You say you're over me, oh how cute. But here I am, still the star of your loop. You're my biggest fans, don't even deny. So grab some popcorn when daddy goes live. Call me daddy, yeah, shout it loud. King of your thoughts, I'm making you proud. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, headline act. Your background noise, and that's just a fact. Let's face the score. You hate that you love me, but you keep wanting more. You're like a dog chasing cars, you don't know why. But here you are, barking while I touch the sky. Your comments are gold, such comedy gold. Who hurt you? Oh wait, it's me, I'm told. You're keeping tabs like an unpaid intern while I'm cashing checks. When will you learn? Your timeline's a shrine to every move I make. I'd say thanks, but you're a nasty skank. Oh, Shizzy's washed up. Yeah, sure, Jan, yet here I am, the centerpiece of your plan. You hate watch my stream like it's Oscar night, but guess what, kiddos? I'm still shining bright. Call me daddy. Send in your bread. I'm still rent-free in your effing head. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy on your brain. I'm your mental landlord, you can't complain. Let's keep it real. You hate that I'm winning, but you love how it feels. Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your streak? You tried to ignore me for like half a week, but daddy's too spicy, you can't look away. I'm the train wreck you need every single day. So while you're out there with your plastic clout, I'm here sipping coffee watching you freak out. You're relevant, wow, what a take. Now go rewatch my vids while I count how much I make. I count how much I make. Call me daddy, yeah, own it now. I'm reading your brain and you don't know how. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, let's set the bar. I'm the constellation, you're a burned out star. Embrace your role, cause I'm the main character. You're just an old ragged ass, burned out troll. So that's your bedtime story, kids tucked in sweet and snug. Shizzy Daddy's forever, you lose and you're stuck in the mud. Now say goodnight to Papa Nut, your mental pain. Oh wait, you will see me tomorrow's agenda will see me tomorrow. Same obsession, same effing thing.
Y'all are awesome.